Hey, Stephen Peterson here, Patterns for Progress. We're going to help you, I'm doing this all by myself. I'm going to help you break through. I'm going to help you get success. I'm going to help you get something you've always wanted, but you can't do it unless you're willing to change. One pattern, one habit, one routine at a time. I wished, I wished it could be something different. Somebody said, "Hey, isn't there a different way?" Oh my, I have tried for years, to catch lightning in a bottle. You know what it is? I'm a spontaneous person. I want something done right now. I, if somebody hands me a book, says, "Man, I love this book," you know where I start reading? I start reading in the middle to see if I can skip to the end. Why waste all that time on the front? I don't want to do things step by step. I just don't. That's not my personality. I don't think that's how God made me. But we live in habits. We live in patterns. We live in routines. Many of them, maybe too many of them, we picked up as a child. They've just passed down to us. I've got friends who have trucks, and one of them is a Chevy guy. And man, if you're not driving a Chevy, you're nobody. And another guy's you got to have a Dodge. But my most stubborn friend is driving a Ford. It's got to be a Ford. Nobody looks at any of the facts. Nobody. It's something their dad or their grandfather or who knows, somebody important in their life. And that's what patterns are. We're a product of our patterns. You're never, ever going to change your life until you change something you do every day. Every day. The secret of success is found in what you do in your daily routine. Or the secret of failure, the secret of going without is found in your daily routine. Oh man, I'm not trying to get you to change personalities. I'm not changing. But, the garbage man shows up the same time, and if you put the garbage out on the wrong day, yours outside of your house going to start to stink. Let's change one habit. Let's change one pattern. Let's change one routine. Throw one out. And again, the most dramatic one in my life in the last 10, 15 years is getting involved with the Dave Ramsey, getting out of credit card debt, getting out of debt. I don't owe any money on cars, on credit cards, on student loans. Yeah, nobody would loan me any money when I was a student. I tried to get student loans. They're all paid off. The only thing that's not paid off is my house. And I know, listen, it's hard for me to do the Dave Ramsey thing. What you won't do by faith, you'll end up doing by force. But you're never going to change your life until you're willing to change something you do on a daily basis. The secret of your success or the cause of your failure is found in your daily routine, something you do every day. And I'm not trying to get you to change some big, huge thing, let's quit your job and let's get a whole new career. No, I'm trying to get you to get up 10 minutes early. I've got a friend who is late to every meeting. Do you know how many times people have bought him watches and it doesn't matter. He won't change his routine. His routine isn't that he's late. His habit, his pattern, the pattern is I'm going to try to get too many things done in 1 hour's time. Everybody, listen, the richest person and the poorest person have several things in common. And one of them is they both get 24 hours a day to do something. So a lot of times the most successful people are people who have captured time, who've made time not their enemy, but made time their ally by saying, okay, I can't do 50 things a day. Maybe I can only do 1 or 2 or 5. As I read, I try to read every week, read or listen to somebody talk about patterns and habits and routines, and you know what they say? Almost every one of them. Stop trying to multitask. Every time people multitask, they end up doing everything poorly. Yeah, you might get some stuff done, so there's a habit. Maybe at work, your boss is saying, "Oh man, your work's not up to snuff here." Well, quit trying to multitask. Put down the phone or put away the computer or what. Focus on one thing. Successful people are not born that way. You know what they did? Successful people started doing something every day that most people only do once in a while, if at all. They weren't born successful. They threw away a habit. They threw away a pattern. They saw somebody, oh, look at this. In fact, as I read these, I think today I came across 50 different successful people in something like Forbes, some business magazine. 50 different successful people, and they all talked about their number one pattern. The number one thing they did that made them stand out, none of them had the same thing. 50 different companies, 50 different patterns. So what I'm trying to do is trying to tell you, instead of beating your head on the wall and doing the same old thing, if you're tired of getting what you've been getting, stop doing what you've been doing and do something new. One thing, just one. Remember, you got to kick one out. Got to get rid of one pattern, and get a new one. If you're trying to lose 50 pounds this year, don't. You got to break that pattern of waiting for the hot light to come on a Krispy Kreme and run it. No, I don't even drive by Krispy Kreme. You got to know your strengths. You got to know your weaknesses. You got to know what tempts you. Krispy Kreme doesn't tempt me anymore because I don't drive within a mile of the place. And of course, other people are just so disciplined. No, I just decide. That's wonderful if you can do that. But I'm talking to people. I'm a person that, for me to establish a new habit, oh man, I can't even begin to tell you how long it took me to get out of credit card debt. But the reason it took me so long is I drug my feet. No, I think there's another way. I think maybe if I hit the lottery, and then there's a reason that what is some outrageous amount, 60, 70, 75% of the people who hit a lottery of any kind declare bankruptcy within 3 years. How can you win millions of dollars? Because you've got a pattern of spending more than you take in. And if you only take in something one time in your life, you go, man, you got to live it up. Well, yeah, but if you win $1 million or $2 million, don't be broke 18 months later. See, that's a huge, horrible pattern. I'm not putting anybody down. My mistakes were smaller than that because I didn't have $1 million. Successful people do daily something that most people are not willing to do more than once. Whether it's study, Warren Buffett, where he reads 500 pages a day. Well, I don't have that kind of time. Can you read 10 pages a day? Can you read 5 pages a day? Many of those 50 people who have their own business, and we're talking about the number one thing, many of them would mention something to do with exercise. How's that got anything to do with business? Nothing, except when they exercised and they did it first thing in the morning and put themselves first, all of a sudden their mind got sharper, they got clearer, hey, we're not going to do that, we're going to do this. So one pattern change. Let me tell you, your whole life can pivot. The smallest key can open the biggest lock. One habit, one pattern, one routine can just be the turning point where your life gets better and it never goes back. It's not bad and getting worse. It's supposed to be good and getting better. One pattern. I've heard 2 people in my life, maybe I've heard more, but 2 people impacted me who lived through the Holocaust. One was a Jewish man, Irving Roth, and another one was a Dutch woman. She and her family hid Jews, and they were caught and put in concentration camps. 2 totally different people, different backgrounds, but they both had a pattern of forgiving people who caused them the greatest harm. Now, when I hear their stories, I want to go get a shovel and hit. How could you do that? How could you be that mean? How could you be that cruel? How could you be that inhumane? Corrie ten Boom lost her whole family when she was in the concentration camp. She's the only one who survived. Yet, until the day she died, every time I heard her, every time I saw a letter, a book, anything, she talked about forgiving. To get into God's best in your life, and she believed in God, or she never would have. Well, they wouldn't have hidden any Jews if they didn't believe in God, and she wouldn't have survived it. She didn't believe in it. She said to walk with God, you've got to walk in forgiveness. Now, Irving Roth is a Jewish man. He is a Jewish man to this day, and he just thanks God. I believe he lost his whole family. He's still alive, and he's still speaking. He came and spoke in Utah years ago, and what an impact on my life. But again, His habit was forgiving. He never forgot the past, but he wasn't living in the past. See, that's easier said than done. And I know some of you watching have had some horrific things happen to you in your past. I'm telling you, your best days are not behind you. Your best days are in front of you. Just don't quit. And see, just this is a key. I'm giving you a key that'll unlock a door that'll change your life. But the key only works when you work it. I can't do it for you. You can't hire it out. You can't call somebody and say, could you please change one of my habits? Would you please change one of my patterns? And that's what this whole program is. Patterns for progress. It's time to make progress. It's time to get ahead. It's not time to just sit in the same spot and spin your wheels. You're never going to change your life until you change something you do every day. In fact, depending upon your patterns, your habits, your routines, they're either making you or breaking you. One of the things I say all the time is, if you don't kill your excuses will be the death of you. Well, it's the same thing with patterns, habits, routines. Something you're doing every day is helping you. Something you're doing every day is making you money. Something you're doing every day is making you happier. Or something you're doing every day is costing you money, making you miserable. You change that one pattern. You identify, I'm going to throw this out. Doesn't mean it wasn't a good pattern. Doesn't mean it won't work for somebody else. It's just not working for you. Every one of us have going at different speeds and we want different things in life. So you got to change. Again, you can't hire it done. You can't pay to have it done. I wished we could. I'd be the first one paying somebody. Hey, go change three patterns for me. I need 3 new routines. Get it done by Friday, would you? And this change is slow. It's step by step. It's incremental progress. You're not looking for a quick fix. You're looking for something that hopefully will work and help you the rest of your life. But you got to start someplace. And today is the day. Today is the day. Go ahead and say it. Today's the day. I'm going to change something today. I'm going to stop being a victim and I'm going to start being a victor. I'm going to stop being stuck. One of the things that and again, I read these and I just get inundated. But one of the things, one pattern that has to stop complaining. In fact, my little book is somewhere around here. 3 things. You write down 3 things you're grateful for. And I said them out loud. And I believe it was somewhere between 21 and 28 days. And I got a different outlook. Now, I'm not working on stopping complaining. But that's one of them down the road. But when you're complaining, it clouds your mind. You don't get to see the possibilities all around you. You just get to see the thing that's caused you pain, the thing that represents failure or lack. I'm telling you, you're one pattern away, but you got to change. You'll never change your life until you change something you do every day. Change a pattern, a habit, a routine. This program is called Patterns for Progress, and I'm Stephen Peterson. I appreciate you watching this, but we also have a YouTube channel. Guess what it's called? Patterns for Progress, Stephen Peterson. How's that for unique? So you can watch the show. Once you see it, this is shown, I was going to say shown live. It's not shown live, but it's shown for the first time on a Sunday, but it's available. Patterns for Progress, Stephen Peterson on YouTube. And I'd love to hear from you. My email address is patternsforprogress@gmail.com. I appreciate it. Remember, you're one pattern change away from success like you've never had.